very, very dodgy. Just listen and pay attention.
What a pleasant surprise we had when we were informed that our request for an interview with the president had been granted. The only conditions, we had to send the questions beforehand, and we had 40 minutes, a generous... The enormity of the task when you promised... Granted. The only conditions, we had to send the questions beforehand, and we had 40 minutes, a generous...
Let us see the condition.
Was not through interviews. And in almost 7 years of an 8-year presidency, one could count on one hand how many sit-downs it's had.
So what a pleasant surprise we had when we were informed that our request for an interview with the president had been granted. The only conditions, we had to send the questions beforehand, and we had 40 minutes, a generous increment from an earlier 30.
Nevertheless, we were determined
maybe I heard wrong. He said that you have to send the question. You have to send the question beforehand.
New Year greetings
so now,
and after settling in, we get right to it.
In
his New Year,
in a situation whereby you want to interview your president, you have to send the question beforehand. It's very, very quite unfortunate. And as you are looking at your president, you will tell me also, is this the president that we know in 2015? Is it the same president that we know in 2015 before we will proceed? Looking at his side view, is it the same president that we used to know, prior 2015? But now, let us hear the interview, because I maybe I was the only one who was, maybe I wasn't following that when you ask this president a question about this, he answered the other one. Let us pay attention.
A day statement to Nigerians, President Buhari had said security remained on the front burner, and that is precisely where we start.
Your New Year speech. And in that speech, you told Nigerians, you said, and I quote, "The persistent insecurity in certain parts of the country have threatened to unravel the incremental gains achieved." Did you envisage the enormity of the task when you promised to tackle insecurity as President and Commander-in-Chief of our country?
Well, I think you can recall that when I was campaigning, right, 2015, there were 3 fundamental issues: security, economy, and fighting corruption. And for Nigerians to be fair to this administration is to try and find out, from the time we won the election in 2015 to now, in the 3 promises we made, improving security, improving the economy, and trying to fight corruption. Well, securing the country in the northeast, if you ask anybody from Borno State, from Yobe State, from Adamawa State, there were a number of local governments, about 18, that were in the hands of Boko Haram. None of any local government now is strictly in the hands of Boko Haram or ISWAP. So, in that respect, we have done something. In the economy, don't forget, and I challenge so many people to go and check with the central bank or NNPC, the production from 1999 to 2014 was 2.1 million barrels a day, average production, at the average cost of $100 per barrel. When we came, somehow the militants were unleashed in the South. Production went down to 500,000 barrels a day. And I think by some fabulous coincidence, the price again collapsed to about $37 per barrel. But look at what we did within the time frame and the resources available to us relative to the government we inherited from.
Well, the economy and security are two very pressing areas, Mr. President, and I'm sure that over and over again we'll keep going there. You talked about how the militants were unleashed. Some people will say that President Erdogan also faced that crisis when he ascended, when he became president, and that was one of the reasons why he had to, come up with the amnesty program. But I'll take you back again to security. You've spoken about the progress we've made in the Northeast, and that is true. The camps are being emptied. The Northwest continues to be of concern, where we see bandits, unleashed in many parts of the Northwest, sometimes getting to the North Central of the country. Would you say that we understand fully the problems we're currently facing in terms of security in the Northwest?
In the Northwest, it's the same people, the same culture, stealing each other's animals, killing each other, burning villages. So I think the only language they understand, we discuss it thoroughly with the law enforcement agencies, the service chiefs, the Inspector General of Police, is to go after.
Did you see how he is addressing? I just wanted him to play because we are still on the security and economy. He tells you in the northeast that the problem they're having there is, the problem that has always been there. People stealing each other's animals, people stealing each other's cow, that is the problem of insecurity in the northeast. Without him mentioning, these people who are also interviewing him, they are also scared of their lives, because you can see, even I'm going to play this interview to an extent where you will be able to understand that the people that are interviewing him is even at some point they get very bored. Number two, some of the questions they ask him, he was not even able to answer them. They actually push words into his mouth to help him to answer those questions. That is the first type of interview that I have heard, in this world, where the person who is conducting the interview will now be helping you to answer some questions. This is compromised zoological republic. Let us pay very, very good attention. He said instead of addressing the issue of banditry in the Northeast, he is telling you that people are stealing each other's animal. If you could remember, before the introduction of the ESN in the Southeast, you will understand, is it that people are stealing each other's animal? Those terrorists and those bandits who are raping and killing people and destroying their farms, is it that the people are stealing each other's animal? No, those are the same question, because it was the same case scenario, which is just that we started, protecting our bushes, protecting our communities on time. Now is happening in the Northeast. When I tell you that the people in the Northeast, just because they do not have a voice, anybody can come out to make a claim of as if there is to make you believe that what is happening there is just nonchalant and criminal act. That is what he is trying to make you believe. In the Northeast, people are stealing each other's animal, that it is a culture there. That is what the president have to say about people dying every day. That is what he has to say. Let us continue.
the terrorists, we label them terrorists, and we are going to deal with them with such. And I believe if you go to those constituencies in the Northwest and North Central.
Now, you said in the Northeast. You see how contradicted this answers is. In the Northeast, there are people stealing each other's animal. But now, he is saying, because the question came more, he is saying now we label them terrorists. We are going to deal with them decisively. You know, are you paying attention how they keep contradicting themselves? You say, in the Northeast, he did not mention banditry or terrorism. He said it is a culture there. People are stealing each other's animal. But listen to him now. He labeled them terrorists. Let us pay attention. He will keep contradicting that zoological republic called Nigeria.
Within the last 4 weeks, there are improvements in the security. There is improvement in the security.
It is true. I mean, because the farmers' herders crisis was one that was a big challenge a few years back and maybe a few months back as well. It's come down somewhat, but some people are attributing it to the seasons. They think it's about the weather. And that now that we're entering the peak of the dry season, perhaps we could see a resurgence again. Would you say that we have dealt with that problem once and for all, or do you fear that it could rear its head again?
We cannot do much about the weather. But
before we continue, did you see how fresh this man is? Are you seeing what I am seeing? Did you see how fresh? You can see the hands. From the time he took his jab, you could see the arm, how fresh, and an arm of a very, it looks like he's a 37 or maybe 35-year-old person. But this guy here is, they say he's 79 years or 80 years. There is also a rumor that the younger sister is older than him. In Nigeria is where you will find these politicians. They are bearing a football age. But this one, regardless of his football age, you could see in his body, you could see the way he works, that this is not the president you voted in 2015. But that is the digression. Let us proceed with what we are here for.
About the security, we have taken steps and we are seeing the results, and we thank God for that. For the weather, we can only pray and hope that the weather they are mentioning, the climate change and so on. Nigeria, we are very.
Did you see they ask him, did you believe that you have tackled these security challenges, or the weather is the reason why, because they have come back to, another season, which the terrorist or security challenges is starting to rise being on its peak again. Now he is talking about climate change. I want you to listen very carefully. A president of a nation, you ask him, don't you think that the weather, which is the change of season, is bringing the resurgency of those terrorists into that area? He is now telling you the weather, the climate change in Nigeria. Just pay very good attention so that you will know, is it me that is not understanding the question, or is it this president that is not understanding the question? Or is it that he is trying to shift away from the question that is being thrown at him? Let us listen to it. Pay very good attention.
Very susceptible to such issues because of our population and the size of the country. Population is the size of the country.
I made that reference to weather because, people believe that when things get dry up north, that's when you begin to see the herders coming down south, and that's when we see the research.
Did you hear the question? She is actually rephrasing this question, that your president might be able to know where she is coming from. That is maybe it's not what part of those questions that was sent through in advance. That is what you will understand. It is not part of those questions that they studied. that he started before he sat here. So let's see the rephrase how he is going to answer it.
Urgence of the conflict between farmers and herders. So that's why I made reference to the weather. Do you think that that has been sorted once and for all?
Yes, the ministers of agriculture from Audu Obe to Mahmoud now, one of the issues I discussed with them personally is to go and get the gazettes of First Republic, especially from the northern states. There are cattle routes and grazing grounds. And the cattle rearers are confined to those areas. Those that go outside that one are arrested, and farmers are encouraged to come and lay their claims. If they don't have the money, their cattle were sold, and the farmers are settled. So we said we have to go back to the system again to try and make sure that we prepare the grazing areas, ash dams, windmills, even veterinary departments, so that the herders don't stray into people's farms and into the towns and so on. So really, we are working on that.
The back and forth on issues of security.
Did you hear his answer? They ask him, do you think in this change of weather, change of season, that is bringing in the security challenges back to the area? He is telling you in that area there is a grazing route, there is a grazing route that they will try to find a way. I think I will play it again, because let me hear him more, because he is not going direct to the question. He is not giving answer to the question, which he claimed that the insecurity there is being tackled. And he was thrown a question again to say, do you think that the change of season is now going to bring this insurgency of these bandits and the terrorists into that area again? He will now tell you there is a grazing route, there is the route. So let us hear it again. Maybe you will
Continued.
You will be
The
clear.
focus for us was to highlight the solutions on how to bring
That we prepare the grazing areas, ash dams, windmills, even veterinary departments, so that the herders don't stray into people's farms and into the towns and so on. So
These herders that you are creating a grazing route are the same herders that you said that you have labeled them a terrorist. I hope some of you who are following, these herders that you are going to create a grazing route for them into people's community, into people who are the farmers. According to you, you are agricultural president, but you don't provide security for the farmers. Now, those people who are labeled terrorists are the same people whom you are going to be giving a grazing route into that same place where they were causing mayhem. The question was that, is it that the change of season or weather is bringing back the resurgency of the insecurity and this bandit killing people in that area? He started telling you about grazing route. That's what he did. He started telling you about the grazing route. That is the type of president that you have. A very direct and simple question, which he's supposed to say, yes, the weather, when the weather change, this may bring down these people because they are looking for people's farm where they will feed their animal on, or he will tell you because the grass are dry, these herders don't have any other option but to go into people's farm and destroy it in order to feed their cow or cattle. A very simple question that he just need to give an answer to. He start telling you about grazing route. Let us proceed.
Really, we are working on that.
The back and forth on issues of security continued. The focus for us was to highlight the solutions on how to bring an end to the killings.
The concern here, Mr. President, is finding a lasting solution. What in your mind do you think can help bring a lasting solution to these issues, herder crises and the issues of banditry?
There is a problem of culture. And problem of culture, you have to study it to understand it. The life of normal herders, a lot of kids, they depend entirely on them. They sell the milk, they sell the animals to pay tax and so on.
Is the Mr. President, the question is very simple. The question is, what is the plan to bring everlasting, solution towards this insecurity in the country? Now he is telling you the herders are selling the milk to pay the tax. What does it have to do with the question? What has it to do with the question that you've been asked? A very, very direct and simple question. Let's keep listening.
And buy, say, sugar or salt or something is their entire way of life. So if those cattle were taken away from them, they normally become very wild because that's the only thing they know. It's a cultural problem. And the way we do it starts from bottom upwards. The leadership to make sure that the grazing areas and the water points are secure to them. That they don't have to go through some people's farm to go to the water points. Once say you have got 50 cows, after eating grass, they will just head where to drink.
Even governor, for example.
So it is, he is still capitalizing on the grazing route that will take the header and these bandits, the terrorists, those proscribed terrorists already, that you make a grazing route for them that they will take their animals to drink water. That is the everlasting solution to the insecurity of terrorism in that area in Nigeria. It is to make a grazing route that will lead to the water, to the stream where the animal will drink water. Because the animals are drinking waters of the people in the farm. I don't understand. This answer does not make sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to you as a zoo. It does not make sense to me. But let's keep paying attention. The everlasting solution is to find a way to give animals the route to go and drink water. That is the everlasting solution to tackle the insecurity in the Northeast or in Nigeria. Are you paying attention to your president? That is not my word, it's the word of the president.
Suggested that we need to bomb these bandits in their forest. Are you looking in that option, a full military assault on them? Because what is on the minds of an average person in the Northwest is to see a situation where these bandits are taking out totally the kidnapping, the killings of innocent Nigerians in that region.
Well, I told you what we have done. We met at least 4 times with the service chiefs and other law enforcement agencies each meeting taking at least 4 hours. We have discussed thoroughly what to do with the situation. Luckily, I have a military background from the Civil War to now. So we discuss on what we understand, and we try to secure and make it safe for the leadership at communities level. Because it's very important, the best intelligence, you get it from the local leadership, because they know who is who in their areas of responsibilities. You have to talk to them, but you must make sure they are safe, because the bandits, or whatever you call them, they can be a source of insecurity to them or to their members of the family, and we are very conscious of it. But I ask you to please try and check within the last 6 weeks, and so there is an improvement in the Northwest and North Central.
I probably want us to move,
Wow.
because of our time, to some other.
Wow. They were given, I think, 15 minutes, right? That was the time they were given. They were given 15 minutes to conduct this interview. So now the question is being phrased, if they remember that this question is now the third time they are asking the same question while the president is busy beating around the bush. He is busy beating around the bush. Now he is telling them to go and check the northeast and the north central, that the improvement is there. But they ask him what will bring the everlasting solution to these security challenges. That was the question. So let us continue.
Areas that are also very important. But, Mr. President, I'd like you to please answer to the concerns of those who have the belief that policing or security issues are majorly local. And we've seen state governments and regional governments also thinking in that direction. In the Southwest, they're talking about Moteton. In the Southeast, they're talking about Ibuago. And a lot of people are thinking about reformation of the police system, state policing. Do you think this is a possible solution to the insecurity in Nigeria?
Well, you see, the role of traditional rulers must not be undermined, because in their areas, as I said, they know who is who, even by families, not even talk of individuals. So we have to revert to that system for us to have an effective security in the localities. For example, there were two
Okay,
governors that came to.
now you will understand the reason why all this Ebubago and Ebubenkita. You will understand it now. Remember that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu cried and cried and cried and cried the way our people are being raped and the farms are being destroyed. He is not only crying, you saw the data, you saw the images, you saw the videos. You saw it, I saw it, everyone saw it, including the United Nations, they saw it. Now, you are asked, how do you think that creation of this regional security, is indeed a good idea, something like that? So now they mentioned Amotekun, they mentioned Ebubenkita, which was created just yesterday. Ebubenkita was created when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu already created a security that will protect our people and their livelihood. Our people in the farms, in their communities, and in their livelihood, which means a Bubagu was created to sabotage, the work, the good job that is done by ESN. They were created to sabotage the good job that was done by ESN. You know, they mention all these things. Why are they not mentioning a ESN? Because ESN was the one which gave them that initiative, because their brains were empty. They did not know what to do. Not even the police knew what to do. Not even the state governors knew what to do. Not even the traditional rulers knew what to do. Until Mazen Nnamdi Kanu introduced ESN to protect people from their bushes. From there, Amotekun was also, introduced, and to sabotage the ESN. Those so-called elite, they started introducing Ebubago and Ebubenkita. Soon they will introduce Ebubeu. That is how bad it is. That is how bad. Anything that will be able to tackle the security challenges in Nigeria must be sabotaged. Anything at all that has the tendency of tackling the security challenges in Nigeria must be sabotaged. That is the reason why they asked your president a direct question. How do you think that will bring everlasting solution towards this security uprising, towards these security challenges that is, rising left, right, and center in the country? He will start telling you must make a grazing route. He will start telling you that the climate change. He will start telling you that you make a grazing route to lead the animal to drink water. Are you paying attention? A grazing route that will lead the animal to drink water is going to tackle the security challenges that the people are dying, people are being displaced from their community, people are being killed here and there. 50% of land mass is being taken over in the north, but the only way he will tackle it is to make a grazing route that will lead the animal to drink water. And now, in the south, all of you in the south, all of you in the south whom created a security after ESN was launched. So you have seen how significant and how important ESN, did their job, and how diligently they served to protect our land, they serve to protect our people and their livelihood. And you believe that you will create something to sabotage it because you do not want your people to leave. All you want is for them to be reducing in number, so that the allocation that will be coming in, you will be, embezzling it without no question asked. That is the reason why you are creating Ebubago, Ebubenkita, and Ebube Tolo Tolo to come and protect our people in the bush. Corruptible individual. Because they know that with the ESN, they are under oath. And they are, these are the men that determine to secure their land. And they are doing it. They are doing it. But you have created Ebubago. What the Ebubago will start doing now is to start, stealing from people. They will start stealing from people. That is the reason why all these things you mentioned, who tackled security challenges in the southeast, in the south, in those coastal regions, in part of the middle belt, who tackled the security challenges, who rose an alarm, who made these security challenges not to be worse like the ones in the north? Who did it? You did not mention them because you believe that, when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was crying, no one heard his cry. When the people on the ground were crying, no one heard their cry. Until they made a move. They made important move to secure themselves. Now you mentioned the Ebubatolo, which is the corruptible individuals. You mentioned Amotekun, which is the one they recognize in the West. You did not mention the people, those who, made you to open your eyes, that you are not swallowed today by the banditries and terrorism in the South. You did not mention it. You are Yoruba media, if I'm not mistaken. You did not mention it because those who are working tirelessly to quench the security challenges in their area, they are terrorists. But the terrorists are called, people stealing each other's animal. People steal each other's animal. Are you listening to this? There is nothing I have to say much. Let us continue to listen. There is a point that I want you to pick up here very soon.
See me about problem, and I don't mind saying that the governors of Oyo State and the governor of this other state in
your president, Mohamed Buhari, who served as a military in Nigeria, cannot, and he does not know the name of the state. He is asking the journalist which other state, Ondo State, and which other state. Are you paying attention? He did not, he cannot remember the state, which is facing challenges. He is saying Ondo. Let me push it back a little bit because it is not my word. I don't quote people out of context. They will quote themselves out of the context, not me. Let's push it back. You listen it to yourself.
Because in their areas, as I said, they know who is who. Even by families, not even talk of individuals. So we have to revert to that system for us to have an effective security in the localities. For example, there were two governors that came to see me about problem, and I don't mind saying that the governors of Oyo State and the governor of this other state in Ondo, not Ondo, Oyo State and one other state.
Oyo State and one other state, Mr. President of Zoological Republic, Mr. President. Another state, Oyo State, Ondo, with that other state. Hi. And you say that this is Mr. Buhari that we voted in 2015. Is this Mr. Buhari that we voted in 2015, who served as a military, who's been in almost all the states in Nigeria? You cannot tell me that there is no way you will be a president, you do not remember a state which is facing challenges or a state of your country. Wow, Mr. President, wow.
Said because the herders were in their forests, but the animals were going into the neighboring farms and eating the crop. I said, as far as I know, the farmers and the herders have been coexisting in Nigeria. Let them go and ask the local leadership what has gone wrong, why the break in communication between the local leadership and the herders that come on seasonal basis. The route they follow, the forest they confine themselves to. Why are they now extending into the farms of people?
Now, you ask him question, he is sending you an assignment to go and ask your local leaders and community. That's what he is saying. Go and ask your local leaders and community. You ask him question, direct question. First of all, he didn't remember the state, Now he is telling you, go and ask the local leaders and communities. That is the president, Mr. President, Mr. President, sir. This is the same president when you go to UN. They welcome him. When you go to Education Summit, they welcome him. The president who does not remember the name of the state that is facing challenges in Nigeria. Now he is telling you that those who are, he claimed that they have labeled them terrorists, but he's still calling them herders, the herders and the farmers issues. Are you paying attention? When you know, they say they claimed, they're not saying proscribed headers. Are you paying attention? He never said proscribed headers, but he told you they have labeled them a terrorist, but they are not proscribed headers. When he feel that you don't know what to say again, he say you must go and ask those communities what is going on. This is the president that you have. And this is the same president that you want me to be in the same country with. This is the president that you want Biafrans, the divine people of Chukwokikabiama, to be in the same country with. God forbid. God must forbid. If you belong to this, contraption, I want you to belong it on your own. I'm out of here. I'm out. If you belong there yourself. Me, I am out. A president who cannot even mention a state which is facing crisis. He cannot mention a state which is facing crisis. Those he claimed he labeled terrorists, he cannot even call them proscribed headers. He keep telling you it is headers, farmers dispute. Wow, Mr. President, wow.
I just sent them back because these things haven't been happening this year or last year or 10 years ago. For generations, people have been living like that.
So the state policing is not an option.
And because generation people has been living like that, so there is nothing you can do. That is actually the final answer. For generation people has been living like this. That means there is nothing you can do about it. And people who knew or who know what to do, you put them behind bars. You put them in the DSS dungeon. People who know how to tackle these challenges, instead of seeking for their help ignorantly, because the problem of these people is ignorant. Why will I listen to this young man? Why will I listen to these people? Why will I listen to Igbo man? Why will I listen to Biafrans? That is the ignorant. The same ignorant led Ojukwu, led Gowon to Aburi with Ojukwu. The same ignorant made Gowon to default on the agreement made in Aburi. The same ignorant triggered the First World War fought in Africa. That was the first, the same ignorant. Let us continue. And I want you that when Facebook kick you out, kick yourself back in, because they don't like people talking politics. You should understand that. They do not like people exposing politics. But we must continue because our voice must be heard. We have suffered enough in the hands of this contraption. We have suffered enough. That is the reason why our people are going through Mediterranean Sea, just to make it to Europe. Is it the life we want to live? No, that is not the life we want to live. There are people who hold the solution to Nigeria problem. They are placed behind bars. They cried. You did not hear them. They went to the street with ordinary flag. You killed them. They did everything. You even went to their home, massacred them to the extent that their parents died out of the trauma. 28 people massacred. Today you have extraordinary rendition him, placed him in the communicado, in the DSS dungeon, not even in a correctional facility for over 5 months. For over 5 months, violation of human right. That is violation of human right. The prisoner of conscience, they are telling you want to come and start telling us. It is obvious that you do not own a solution to tackle the security challenges. That is the same reason why ESN was launched from the beginning, so that our people will not be killed. The same thing that so many leaders in the north want to start applying. They want to even give, ammunition, guns to people who does not have competency to defend themselves. They do not have shooting competencies, but they told them to possess an arm to defend themselves. Did you see? This is how the country is resulting to be. At least ESN was trained, organized, disciplined, under oath, and they are doing the job diligently. But today, people are calling for communities to pick up arms to defend themselves. Even those communities who does not have competence to handle an ammunition, they are called to pick up an arm. And I don't blame anybody that calls that, because you do not have anything to offer them. Let us continue.
No, state police is not an option. Now, find out now the relationship between local government and the governors. Are they getting, in the third tier of government, are they getting what they are supposed to get constitutionally? Are they getting it? Try and see those people from local government that have confidence in you to tell you the truth. The fighting between local government and the governors.
I think it's fair for us to go into the economy.
So, as a president who is able to deploy military to Obibo under the watch of Wike, to kill and maim and burn and loot the community and kidnap many people and place them 600-700 miles away from their place, from their jurisdiction. As a president, since you know that this issue of local government and state government is they're having issues and they are not able to be tackled. Why are you a president? You know that this issue is there, and you are the commander-in-chief. You are the commander-in-chief. You are able to deploy and call off military in any state. You could not, go there to make sure that things are happening the way it is happening, that everybody receives their allocations, and those allocations are being used for what it is allocated for. Mr. President, thank you for exposing yourself. We must continue.
It is indeed, Sean. Let's, Mr. President, you performed a few activities. Well, a lot of people thought you're going to be winding down for the holidays. And we're thinking that perhaps the budget might not be signed again. Maybe we'll have to wait till January, especially because of the implementation of the the signing of the Electoral Act, which was sent back to the National Assembly, non-assented to. We thought that that was not going to happen, but...
Wow. Mr. Beautiful President. Mr. Beautiful President. Can't you see? I want the whole world to pay attention to the face of our beautiful president. Mr. Beautiful President. How come, Mr. Beautiful President, pay attention to our president. He gets younger and younger every day. Pay very good attention. Look at him, a silicone face. You don't understand what a silicone face is. This is a face-off president, the first in history of Africa, the face-off president. You look at him here. The first one was that same president. The first one was in 2015. You look at him, because we are not only here to listen to the deception, the interview. You look at here, the first one in 2015 when he was elected in, and then he started changing 2018. I want you to also pay very good attention, because we want to make sure that our eyes is not lying to ourselves. Rather, the system is the one making us a liar. The system is the one making us a liar. Did the Mr. President go for face surgery that makes him so smooth, that makes him so young, that makes him, or maybe he also went for finger surgery, that makes him so beautiful in this manner. I want us to, I want you to answer me those things. Those that are watching that claim that we are full of propaganda, because I know that what I can see, you can see as well. If you cannot see it, wear a spectacles as like me. If you cannot see it, wear glasses. Maybe you will be able to see. Look at this one in blue. The one in blue, that is the real President Muhammad Buhari in 2015. And now let us go back to the interview for us to know who is fooling who. Is that not a silicon face? Tell me. Is that not a silicon face? Look at the one here. Look at the one here. Can you see? And look at the one here. Tell me, can't you see the difference? Are you not seeing the difference? The stiff face, you can see what you have here is a stiff face. His face is stiff. When those celebrities, they go through their face, they go through their lips, it's stiff because it's silicon. Can you see how it is? You can see how it goes. For those of you who believe that IPOB is promoting, propaganda, we do not promote propaganda, because your eyes, every other person can lie to you, but your eyes and your conscience will never lie to you. This is the evil that is playing in the contraption called Nigeria. That is it. No wonder they don't want to put it in the charge they leveled against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that he called Mr. President, that is not, that he died a long time ago. No, anybody who is very, very, calculative enough, anybody who is truthful to themselves, from the north, from those Northern Elders Forum, from all of you, watch this. Watch this and give me, differentiate from this blue, which is 2015, when he was still the real president. And you tell me he is laughing in both, right? He is laughing in both. You cannot say because he was laughing there and this place he's also laughing, just that he's covering his teeth. But he's forgotten that we are able to pick up a silicon face. We are able to pick up a face that is silicon. Look at it nicely. Did you see the ears? And apparently that ears is facing in the right direction as well. Did you see the blue ear and the blue regalian? You can see the ears of original Buhari that will be able to tell you the whole state in Nigeria, that will be able to tell you and give you, every name of every state. You have seen the reason why this president will not be able to remember the name of the state. You can see the ears, you can see the difference between the two ears. You can see it. I believe that it is in front of you. You are able to see it, right? It is not me. That is not me. That is your current president with silicon face. You can see the difference between a natural face and a silicon. Can you see? This is not a photo shoot. This is not a photo crop. This is not this is a video. It is a video. Please judge with me. Judge with me. For those of you who believe that we are promoting propaganda, please open your eyes right now and judge with me. Open your eyes right now, please judge with me. The man in blue is different from the man in white, and it is different from the man that is conducting the interview. Because in Africa, the atrocities that is being covered in Africa is being covered in Africa. They call it a foreign policy. They call it foreign policy. It is because of that same foreign policy that they are not able to come clean. Remember that anything Western world want to suppress in the media, you can never stand a chance. You will never stand a chance. Even if you have 20 million followers and they are seeing it at the same time, if they want to help you to cover, something from, being open, you don't stand a chance to expose it. But at least, since they can lie to you, your eyes and your conscience will not be able to lie to you. Look at the president. I'm happy he is actually wearing almost the same cap in 2015 in front of you, and then he is also wearing almost the same cap here. You can see. So let us continue. I hope you have picked up something. Let us continue. This is a silicone face. You can see it clearly. It will never get old, this face. It will never get old. And you are going to confirm it at the end of this interview, where what he will say to make you believe that in fact, I don't need to emphasize on it. You will confirm it yourself.
There was a surprise package. You signed the 2022 budget into law, but you had very strong reservations about it. And you did not mince words in saying how you felt about that. I mean, provisions for as many as 10,733 projects were reduced, while 6,576 new projects were introduced into the budget by the National Assembly. Those are some of the things that some of the objections which you raised. Do you fear that the budget might not be able to achieve its purpose?
No, not at all. My confidence that we can successfully implement the budget was because in both houses, our party is leading. It's APC party. And the leadership, look at the Senate President. He was in the House of Representatives, I think, 2 times or 3 times before he went to the Senate. He read for PhD. Look at Femi Fajamila. I was watching on the television when he was an ordinary member. He was always on his feet fighting for the party and the system we believed in. So really, I consider myself lucky. My party, under competent leadership, are both leading in the Senate and the House of Representatives. That's why you don't hear much about me. I allow them to do all the things because I can't go against my party. And
a president is telling you he cannot go against his party, even if the party is committing or constituting nuisance to the country. He cannot go against his party. This is the problem in Africa. This is the problem in that contraption. They tell you they practice partisan politics. Partisan politics, regardless of how evil the party is bringing to the nation. You cannot go against them. You cannot go against them because they practice partisan politics. Therefore, if you are not part of their political party, there is nothing for you. If you are a common man on the ground, there is nothing for you. If you are a student, there will be no job for you. It is all about party. Even if you are a man from your party is sponsoring, evil and perpetrating, promoting terrorism, it is absolutely no sin because he is the member of the president's party. That is the reason why he cannot go against his party. Are you listening to it? He cannot go against his party. That is, that is very, very, this I didn't expect to hear this. I did not expect. I know that I heard it from Hope Uzodimma of Imo State. Just see it, Hope Uzodimma of Imo State. His modus of operandi and the ways that this president is promoting himself and the things that he is doing, they are the same because none of them was voted into power. None of them was voted into this power. That is the reason why when they are there, they are abusing it. They are abusing the power. They tell you it's all about the party. It's a partisan politics that you cannot go against your party. No matter how evil they are doing, no matter how atrocities they are committing, you can never go against them. Why? Why? And you call yourself the leader of the nation. The leader of the, there is a, at least it is quite, you can pardon that hopeless Uzodinma. You can pardon him when he says that he is a president of a, is a governor of a state. But what about a president of a republic, a president of so-called republic, which is, they are not a republic, is the one telling you that he cannot go against his party? If the party tell him to destroy the southeast tonight, he will destroy the southeast. If the party tell him to destroy the south tonight, he will destroy the south because he cannot go against his party. Let us continue.
Can't go against people I have absolute confidence in. I know they are doing their best.
So you do not think that the objections which you have raised is going to raise any friction between the executive arm and the legislature?
No, it wouldn't. The legislature is amazing me. If you could recall, about 60% of them didn't come back. Can't they think of what is happening in their constituencies? We have so much support in their constituencies. Their predecessors made the mistake and they haven't come back. They have lost their jobs and maybe they have lost their names. So they have to be very careful.
Indeed. Maybe that's why they're asking for direct primaries, which you have told them roundly you're not going to support.
No, I'm not going to support. Personally, I don't support direct primaries because I want people to be given a choice. You can't give them one option and you think that you are being democratic. Let them have the three options.
The three options. I thought there were only two, direct and indirect.
Watch it. Watch it. But pay very good attention because I'm not going to talk about this side because I'm not a politician much. Watch and see. A common sense. Three options. But it was supposed to be two. But watch how this, those people conducting the interview will now, help the president, which you're supposed to be interrogating the president because it is your right. You have that opportunity to ask him questions with regards to what is happening for you to know if he has the competency. Does he possess that competency to still be your president? Now you are, discharging it and you are taking it back. Just pay very good attention to this. I'm going to play it. Just pay very good attention.
No, there is a
consensus.
Wow. Wow. Why did you remind him? Why did you remind him? Let me go back a little bit back to what that is.
So you do not think that the objections which you have raised is going to raise any friction between the executive arm and the legislature?
No, it wouldn't. The legislature is amazing me. If you could recall, about 60% of them didn't come back. Can't they think of what is happening in their constituencies? We have so much support in their constituencies. Their predecessors made the mistake and they haven't come back. They have lost their jobs and maybe they have lost their names. So they have to be very careful.
Indeed. Maybe that's why they're asking for direct primaries.
Pay attention.
Which you have told them roundly.
Pay attention. Let's see how this thing is being played. You can see the guy already. He is actually, getting bored with what he is saying.
You're not going to support?
No, I'm not going to support. Personally, I don't support direct primaries because I want people to be given a choice. You can't give them one option and you think that you are being democratic. Let them have the three options.
The three options. I thought there were only two, direct and indirect.
No,
Wow. No. Now let you mention the three.
there is a
Consensus?
consensus.
Wow.
There are three options.
Wow. Media house. Wow. Is that how you represent people asking questions? Media house. Is that how you represent when people call you, Gata Media House? Why don't you allow him? Allow him to say it if he has the competency to be in the position where he is. We must continue.
Which is your favorite? Because you, as president, when you were coming at the very first time as the presidential candidate of the APC, direct primaries was what your party went with. Why are you now saying that, there has to be three options when you know that that's perhaps the one that would have favored you the most at the time when you were coming in, the fairest option, so to speak?
I would expect you to have asked me, how did we overthrow the PDP? And that explanation would have come with your answer. You remember, if you recall, ACN, ABUGA, ANPP, CPC, and another party, we came together. PDP was so overconfident that they thought they would rule Nigeria up to the end of time. But the opposition, we came together, we overthrew them.
They overthrew them because you were able to emerge as the presidential candidate of your party. And that was because of direct primaries.
No, not as a result of direct. It's as a result of the opposition coming together and fight the certain party, the PDP. It's because we agreed to come together. As I told you, four or five parties.
Mr. President, do you think that you would have had a fighting chance if your party at that time had adopted indirect primaries?
Mm-hmm. Whichever you look at it, the fact that we came together is what gave us the success we had. If we didn't come together, the four or five parties wouldn't have defeated the PDP. And they thought we would never, as opposition, get together. And that was the mistake they made. That's why they lost.
I was going to say, Mr. President, should the National Assembly come back with the bill and they edit out what you don't like, would you still sign it?
I don't think I told them what I don't like. All I said, there should be options. We must not insist that it has to be direct. It should be consensus and indirect.
So if they do that, would you sign it?
Yes, I will. I will sign. All I would like is that there should be options. You can't dictate to people, and you said you are doing democracy. Allow them, other options, so that they can make a choice. A constituency can come together and they say, okay, we pick Mr. A.
Let me take you back to the issue of the economy. And I would like to know, Your Excellency, what kind of economy do you think you want to bequeath to Nigerians?
Well, the economy is free economy. And what is free economy? You allow people to make sure that their industries are patronized. You have to stop
The economy is free economy. It is free economy. You allow people, to make sure that the industry is being patronized. Let's keep listening.
You have to stop developed countries dumping goods on your country. Because of technology, they can produce faster, they can produce more with less resources. So you have to protect your economy. That was why ECOWAS and any other organization, either within the system of ECOWAS or within Africa, we have to make sure that we have encouraged our own industries for employment, for using our own resources, and for security. Because we are so far behind in technology, if you allow dumping, I'm afraid unemployment, especially in the case of Nigeria, where we have a large population, you are going to have trouble.
So when you announced today that Dr. Doyin Salami will now be advising you on the issues of the economy, what specific role would you, because he's the head of your Presidential Economic Advisory Council, in what specific areas do you want him to play? Is he going to double as the head of the Economic Advisory Council and the economic advisor?
Yes, he's going to do that. He's capable of doing that. We have watched him. For example, the last time he briefed us, when I say us as the Executive Council, we found out that Nigerian arable land, only 2.5% of Nigerian arable land is being used. Yet people are shouting of unemployment. If we have invested more in agriculture, look, when we closed the border with Benin and Niger Republic, we stopped importation.
How do you intend to invest more in agriculture when the farmers and the terrorists are terrorizing people that are those farmers? The terrorist is terrorizing the farmers. You are saying you want to invest in agriculture. The agriculture that you are talking about, is it only open grazing? Because ever since you came to power, you talk about investing in agriculture, investing, there is something that you say that made sense, that we should promote what we have. We promote what we have, but how do you intend to promote what you have, to make sure that what you have is going to be sustaining the whole country? What plan did you make? What plan did you make? Because when someone, when you talk something sense, I don't take it away from you. I'm a Pan-African. So what plan did you make, are you making to make sure that what we have inside the country will sustain the whole people? What plan? Is it the plan of creating open grazing route? Is it only open graze? Because you call yourself agricultural president, but you only talk about, open grazing instead of doing ranching. Which ranching many people, has been, suggesting all these years. Ranching. You did not. Do you know why he refused ranching? He refused ranching because they have agenda. The person behind these marks, they have agenda. And they know it is only through open grazing that you will be going in, taking over. That is the agenda. Because I don't see any reason why you are called agricultural president only to focus on open grazing. Grazing route, you call all the governors of the whole state to bring their land for open grazing. What exactly are you going to call it? Agricultural president. Yes, we must promote what we have. You must promote what you have. But how sure are you? Are you making a plan for that thing that you must promote is being produced to the extent of being able to sustain the economy? Or, okay, let's listen to you. Let it not come from my mouth how you close the borders.
Of rice. Now Nigerian, we produce the rice we need and we even export. So really, we have to exploit our own capacities. And Dr. Salami, it was fantastic. He is so committed, and economically, I think he's already a professor. We need him, and he's so committed and patriotic.
Why has the provision of regular electricity eluded several presidents? The Buhari administration set out in the beginning to fix this.
I want you to pay attention to this one. Because it is a very, very direct and simple question, and you must pay attention to it for you to understand how they change the story. You will remember in 2015 when they say they